All right, today we're taking a trip to the historic heart of Edinburgh. Now, this is a city that doesn't quite feel like a bustling capital. It's more like a sprawling, ancient village. You know, the kind that just happens to have a massive castle sitting on top of an old volcano. The really captivating thing about Edinburgh's Old Town is this feeling you get the second you step onto its cobblestone streets. It's not something you find behind glass in a museum. It's everywhere. There's this real, tangible sense of history that just seeps out of every stone and every brick. It really feels like the past isn't quite done with this place yet. So that brings up a really big question, doesn't it? How on earth has one city managed to keep its history so alive, preserving literally centuries of stories right there in its walls? Well, let's dive in and find out, treating the city like the living museum it is. Okay, so first things first, what makes this place so special? It all starts with its medieval character, which has been so incredibly well preserved that it feels like history is still breathing all around you. And this is what really sets Edinburgh apart. While so many other historic cities were reshaped by war or completely bulldozed for modern renewal, Edinburgh's Old Town has been meticulously protected. That incredible medieval street plan, the original buildings, their survival wasn't an accident. It was the result of a real, conscious effort to save this unique heritage. But let's be clear, this preservation doesn't mean the city's past was all quaint and romantic. Far from it. Back in the 17th century, the place was so overcrowded with so much coal and wood burning that it earned the nickname Old Reeky, which means Old Smoky. Just try to imagine it, a city constantly covered in a thick, dense smog. It's a pretty gritty reality, but it's a crucial part of the city's story. All right, from the smoky streets of the past, let's look up. We have to start our journey at the city's most commanding landmark, Edinburgh Castle, a fortress that absolutely dominates the skyline from its perch on an extinct volcano. This place is basically 1,000 years of Scottish history all rolled into one. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's a highlight reel, from the quiet faith that built its oldest chapel way back in 1130 to the raw medieval power of the Mons Meg cannon, the royal pomp of the Great Hall, and the grim reality of its first prisoners' war. It even marks the start of the famous 1 o'clock gun, a tradition that still happens every single day. And this number just blows my mind. 900 years. Let that sink in. Tucked away inside the massive castle walls is this tiny, simple chapel, St. Margaret's. It's the oldest building in the entire city. It has quietly survived centuries of royal drama, brutal battles, and a changing world. It's an incredible testament to endurance. And what's inside the castle walls? Oh, just some of Scotland's most important national treasures. You've got the Honours of Scotland, the oldest crown jewels in the British Isles, plus the legendary Stone of Destiny. Then there's Mons Meg, this monstrous 6-ton medieval cannon, and deep, cavernous vaults that were once used as military prisons. It's the real deal. Okay, so let's head down from the castle's heights and onto the Royal Mile. This isn't just any street, it's the historic artery of the Old Town, basically a mile-long time machine that connects the castle at one end to the Palace of Holyrood House at the other. Now, when you're walking the Royal Mile, it is so easy to just get caught up in the big, obvious sights. But here's a little pro tip. The real magic of this place, the stories of the everyday people who lived here, are all hidden in the small details. And they're usually hiding right in plain sight. Check this out, for instance. This is a marriage stone. Between the 16th and 18th centuries, a newly married couple would put a stone just like this over their front door, carved with their initials and the year they got married. This one here is from 1637. It's just a tiny, personal, and very real connection to a couple who started their new life here almost 400 years ago. It's amazing. The city's history is also literally written in stone. If you duck into Mockers Court, which is this quiet little area dedicated to Scotland's greatest writers, you'll find their words carved into the flagstones. I love this one from the naturalist John Muir. It's a beautiful reminder of how the city celebrates not just its kings and its warriors, but its poets and its thinkers too. So, you know how we said Edinburgh is a city of layers? Well, that's not just a metaphor. It's literal. You've got the bustling world you see on the surface, and then there's a whole other silent, mysterious world hidden right underneath your feet. This really shows you the city's split personality. Up top, it's all about the lively Royal Mile, the landmarks, the pubs, the performers. But directly beneath all that action is a totally different world. A network of hidden alleys, entire submerged streets, and these massive 18th century underground caverns. And let me tell you, this underground world is steeped in some seriously dark legends. You have Mary King's Close, a whole 17th century street they say was sealed off during a plague outbreak. Then there are the Blair Street vaults, huge caverns that are just swimming in tales of body snatchers, crime, and, yes, plenty of ghosts. It's the stuff of nightmares and a chilling look into the city's darker side. But, a city isn't just its buildings. It's really all about the people who live there. So let's meet a few of Old Town's most memorable residents. And I mean everyone, from the visionaries to the villains. So here are 3 people who left a completely different kind of mark on the city. First, you have Major Thomas Weir, a super respected guy who, well, suddenly confessed to being a witch. Then there's the philanthropist Reverend Thomas Guthrie, a true hero who created schools for the city's poorest kids. And finally, the brilliant Sir Patrick Geddes, a pioneer of town planning who helped make the city beautiful. What a cast of characters, right? The story of Major Weir is particularly wild. Here was this man, a pillar of the community, who out of nowhere confessed to decades of awful crimes and witchcraft. And these were his last words before his execution. He refused to repent. It's such a haunting look into the dark, superstitious world of 17th century Edinburgh. And then you have stories that are so bizarre, they have to be true, like Maggie Dixon's. So she's condemned to be hanged in the grass market. The execution happens, she's pronounced dead, but then, and this is the crazy part, on the way to her burial, she wakes up inside her own coffin. Because she'd already been executed, Scots law said she couldn't be tried again for the same crime. She lived for decades more and became a local legend known as Half-Hang-It Maggie. You can't make this stuff up. Okay, so after delving into all these centuries of history, all the secrets and unbelievable stories, what does it all mean if you're visiting the Old Town today? Let's talk about its legacy and how you can actually experience it for yourself. Honestly, the absolute best way to experience the Old Town is just to get lost in it. My advice, just walk. Be prepared for some seriously steep cobbled streets, but walking is essential. Definitely take a historical tour, maybe one above ground and one below, and make sure you leave plenty of time to pop into the museums, the little independent shops, and the cozy pubs. That's where you'll feel the city's real heartbeat. Ultimately, the city's great legacy is one of preservation, and that was officially recognized back in 1995 when it was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now, that's not just some fancy title. It's a celebration of the city's unique character and a global acknowledgement of the incredible effort to protect this slice of history for all of us. So we'll end on this thought. Edinburgh's Old Town is a city built on layers. Layers of volcanic rock, layers of streets, and countless layers of human stories. So the only real question left is, when you walk these streets, what story will you uncover?